Back in 2015, before life hardened me the way restaurant work eventually does, I was a nursing student paying my way through school as a waitress. Not at some flashy chain, not a place with billboards or commercials. This restaurant lived and died on word of mouth. That mattered, because when you work somewhere like that, reputation isn't marketing, it's survival. I'd been there for several months, long enough that managers trusted me, long enough that when new servers finished training, I was the person they parked them next to. That's how I ended up working beside him. An older guy, fresh out a rough chapter in life. Quiet, polite, nervous in that painfully sincere way where you can tell he's trying so hard not to mess up. It was his first night with a full section, and if you've ever served tables, you know what that means. He was going to get weeds. He was going to get slammed, and he was going to doubt himself every step of the way. So I stayed close, checked his tables when I could, gave him nods of encouragement, little reminders that he wasn't alone. Then they walked in. 6 people, early 20s, loud, confident, already radiating entitlement before they even sat down. And from the moment he greeted them, something fell off. He came rushing back to me, eyes wide, voice shaking. "They're asking for something that's not on the menu," he said. "She says we have the ingredients, and the other location makes it all the time." Now, could I have told him to stand his ground? Sure, but this wasn't the moment. This was a man already drowning. So I told him, "Ask the back line. If they say no, I'll handle the table." The kitchen shrugged. "It's basically a wrap. We can do it." And that's when the floodgates opened. That one accommodation flipped a switch in her. Every time he approached the table, before he could even finish asking how things were, she needed something. A sauce, a refill, another change, another complaint. Always just as he returned with the last request. I watched his shoulders creep higher and higher with each trip, his hands shaking. That panicked look servers get when they can't catch up no matter how fast they move. So I quietly absorbed his other tables into my rhythm, bought him breathing room, and still, she didn't stop. No please, no thank you, just irritation, impatience, disdain. At one point, I caught him in the back hallway. "I'm probably not getting a tip," he whispered. I told him it didn't matter. I told him he wasn't failing. I told him I wouldn't touch a single dollar from his other tables. But the truth? He looked like someone who'd been kicked one too many times in life and was deciding whether this job was worth one more. Then came the twist. They stayed late, past section close, and as he was closing them out, he came to me again. "They want to use employee discounts," he said. "More than one on the same ticket." I blinked. Employee? That's when he told me. She'd spent the entire meal mocking him, telling him she was a trainer at our other location, that he was the worst server she'd ever seen, that she knew how things worked better than he did. She laughed at his mistakes, berated him in front of her friends, and then, as if that wasn't enough, she claimed multiple birthdays at the table. Free cakes, birthday song. Immediately, something in me went cold. This wasn't a bad customer. This was a bully. I told him to prep the cakes and not to step foot out there. Then I went straight to the manager. Now listen closely. This is important. These managers, they were rare. The kind that protect their staff. The kind that care. I laid it all out. Every demand, every insult, every lie. I asked permission. My manager smiled and said yes, while he picked up the phone. Boss to boss. I didn't hear the call, but I knew who it was to. Then I ran. I grabbed everyone. Servers, hosts, cooks, even the dishwasher. I gave them the fastest rundown of their lives. And when I told them what we were about to do, they were in. Every single one. We lined up. More people than had ever sung a birthday song in that restaurant's history. 6 cakes hit the table. The leader smirked. She thought she'd won. Then we started singing. Not normal singing. Not polite singing. We screamed that birthday song, top of our lungs, echoing off the corner walls. Trap sound, relentless volume. Their smiles evaporated. Hands flew to ears. People flinched. And we didn't stop. We finished every note. Perfectly. And while they were still stunned, the manager handed her the phone. I watched her face fall. Watched her confidence collapse. She cried, made excuses, begged, but it was over. No discount. No mercy. And when she left, so did her job. She walked in that night, thinking she was untouchable, thinking her title made her powerful, thinking she could crush someone already on edge for sport. Instead, an entire restaurant stood up, and the system she abused ended her. I've never felt more satisfied in my life. Some people confuse authority with permission to be cruel, but karma doesn't need a shout. Sometimes it sings. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying workplace karma you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where justice hits exactly where it hurts.